SBL 3.41-1-7 for property located at 483 Damon's Point Road for an area variance seeking 20 feet of relief from the 30-foot setback requirements for front yard on both streets. Proposed coverage is 34%, 25% is allowed. The above application is open for inspection at the Town of Sullivan Office Building. Okay, Maureen, are you here? Well, maybe I should have done this one last. Well,
You want to leave it open?
Yeah,
for now,
we'll leave it
and then,
open and we'll go back.
See if they manage to come on.
Yep. A public hearing before the ZBA of the Town of Sullivan will be held Thursday, March 9th. To consider the application of Mark and Diane Ansel, SBL 10.30-1-3 for property located at 105 Minor Road for an area variance relief of 11 feet on a 30-foot setback. Construct a garage. The above application is open for inspection. All right, Mark or Diane, if you're here, if you want to come up before the board and tell us what you have proposed. I mean, we do have a sketch and are familiar with it.
Yeah, you have my sketch, you have the, what I plan to do. So I plan to build a 24 by 24 garage, and actually the backside of my house, which is on the lake. I have 50 feet between the house and the road. 8 feet of that is my stairwell. So I will start the garage about 8 feet from the stairwell, which would only leave me 13 feet to the road. So we would like to get a variance to put that garage on and still have the same variance to left of road.
And still what?
And still have the same legal variance left or right of the house.
The side door,
The
that's
side-
he's
the
referring
side.
to, I think.
And we have, right now, we have 2 cars, 2 motorcycles, 2 kayaks that, we would like to store in the garage. That's why I would like a 24 by 24. And then we have a couple bicycles, and a snow plow, and a lawnmower.
Now, I was down there today, but there's a shed. Now, that's already there right next to the house?
Right. And that's the only thing we have to store, and it's jam-packed.
Now, does that stick out farther than the steps? By this diagram it does, or it's about the same? Does that stick out as far as the steps leading to your house?
A little bit past it. We would have 8 feet from the end of the stairs to the edge of the garage. So in front, we had 8 feet between the stairs and the garage. We could reduce that a little bit, but right now we'd like to have the 8 feet so we can move things around in that area into the garage, into the storage area.
Now, you said 13 feet, and my diagram has 19 feet here. I know it's tough where the.
Yeah, it's 19. We're asking, we would only have 13 feet in front of the garage. So we need the variance. It's 50 feet. It's
From
50
the front
feet
of the
here.
house,
Right, 8 feet of stairs,
okay?
8 feet of space between the stairs and the garage.
Right, 24-foot garage.
24 foot, and then the rest of it will be from the garage to the road.
Is my math wrong? That was only 10 feet.
58 points.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 58. Okay, right, yeah. All right, I thought.
Is this to the pavement edge or your property pins, your property markers? These measurements?
To the pins.
To the pins.
And that was just done this past summer.
And then how much further do you have to the road? Is it another foot or so, or is it right on the edge of the road?
The the end of the driveway in front of the garage will be right up to the edge of the road.
Do you mean from the pins?
Yeah,
From the pins to, it's probably close to a foot. I would
okay.
say.
Yeah.
So you're gonna gain another foot there.
Yeah.
Not that it really matters, but with all the toys you named, you're not gonna have room in the garage for your cars, are you?
Well, my wife has a small SUV, and I'll probably put the motorcycles in front of her spot. Then we'll figure something out, hang something from the rafters. It's not a very tall garage, it's only 12 feet.
How long is your car?
And the car,
Yeah.
my truck is 19 feet.
It'll be hanging out in the road if you have a hitch.
Well, yeah, but it'll go in the garage. And if I can't put it in the garage, I have pavers on the side of the garage that I can park.
It's just the one vehicle?
No, we have two vehicles,
You have an SUV also.
yeah,
Pull in next to the garage with a longer vehicle.
right. I mean, I could pull right into the garage because it's 24 feet long.
Right.
If needed to be. Yeah, I wouldn't leave it in the.
But if you have
drive.
company or something, you know, and they come, and all the parking spots are full, and then where do you park, and you're sticking out in the road, you know?
No,
I don't know
No,
what
we've got a lot by the
vehicle.
side of our house where we can park.
Yeah, yep, that's good then, okay.
as you face the lake, we have 16 feet to our lake.
A lot of people don't, that's
Yeah.
what I'm always concerned
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
is being able to park a car there safely.
Yeah,
So you're saying that where the existing pavers are now, because your pavers are kind of a Z pattern? So
right,
you're saying that the pavers that abut the road currently would not be really disturbed by putting in this garage?
right,
So you would have the driveway going into the garage, you would have the two spaces in the garage, and you would still have the
yeah,
existing
we would have the
pavers?
pavers to the right, that would remain.
And also alongside the house, it's pretty wide,
There's a path that kind of makes an S turn right there by the,
on the side of the house.
the side, it goes to the side.
If somebody wanted to park on the side of
15.4
the
feet.
house, we have.
Does the board have any more questions?
I'm still, oh no, it's at an angle, never mind.
Is there anyone here to speak for or against this application? If so, please stand, state your name clearly and your concern.
Judy Murray, I live next door. Some of those pavers are on my property. And the space between their home and our property line is very, very small. In fact, when they were building earlier this summer, in order to drive the truck down, some of it was on our property,
Are you to the east or to the west of their property?
to the east.
So the survey that we've been presented with shows that it's at its most narrow 14.6 feet from the northeast corner of their house to the property line, which
Okay.
is more than what's required under.
Except that those pavers actually come over onto my property line.
Well, they've got the pavers noted on the survey as well, and the survey that we're seeing does not show the pavers going over the property line. It shows them shy of the property line by, it's not measured, but I guesstimate probably a foot or two.
If you notice where the mailbox is that on there as well?
Yeah.
That's also on my property.
So this board doesn't have the power to deal with the physical encroachment by existing pavers, mailboxes, or structures. All they can consider is the request for the variance and utilize the state standard to measure that request against it. So the board can't take any action on encroaching pavers or other things.
Well, my concern is if they're considering the pavers as part of their entrance to the garage, then it does impact the property.
I don't think, so my question to them was not if that would be the entry route to the garage, because the garage is gonna be offset
Okay,
quite a bit from the current pavers. So the entry to the garage will be straight on.
gotcha.
But in addition to having the straight, because one of the things that our board is concerned with for lots along the lake is if somebody and this happens all the time where people add a garage between the house and the road. Sometimes it's so close to the road, there's not room to park a car if the garage doors are closed. Then you have people parking with the back of their vehicle sticking into the road,
Right.
or they're pulled off, but they're still in the road. They're gonna still have a minimum of 19 feet from the garage doors to the road, which is enough space for most vehicles to be completely off the road. And then for his truck, they're still gonna have the pavers offset to the side.
Okay, thank you.
If you had other things you wanted to say, by all means you can, but that was,
No, that's okay.
Dave?
Dave Minor, 101 Minor Road, also a neighbor. The four neighbors living adjacent to their property submitted a letter to the board with our concerns on it. And we just, in a nutshell, we just felt that, it could be designed in a way that would maybe fit within the code, so they wouldn't have to get a variance. We'd like to see them have a garage, it'd be helpful, but we weren't contacted, we weren't able to talk to them about it, so we would like to have them consult with us so that we could maybe work together for a solution to their problem.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Well, we have two other people that are here also, and plus there's another person on the phone.
Okay, yeah, and I do have your letter here, okay?
Eugene Chakowski and my wife Cynthia is here. We're at 109 Minor Road. Our feeling is that the shed was put in its present location this past summer, 2022. The stairs were added in 2022 also. They look like they're precast, so they came in and they could go out. Our feeling and the feeling of all the neighbors is that if they had foresight and talked to us, they could have designed the garage within codes tighter to the house and not had the shed in the way and the stairs in the way, but maybe had the stairs come into the garage and then step down or off to the side. But we feel that they're asking for a variance when their foresight would have solved the problem. We're not opposed to the garage being within codes.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there's no other comments, I
got one more question. So for the three neighbors who came in to speak, what's the concern that you have with it being granted and then having the 19-foot setback instead of 30 and granting the 11 feet of relief? What's your concern of if this board approves it?
Maybe nothing, but we'd like to have been consulted with so that we could, maybe there's another solution that they didn't consider. And I just think that there should be more thought given to the project. If they can convince us that they covered all the bases and they've gone through all of the thought processes, maybe that's the final answer, but we don't know that.
I think Cindy Chakowski, I think one of the things that we all sitting here, neighbors, we would love to see Mark and Diane be part of our community and be part of a situation where we can talk to them. We're not allowed to say hello to them. We're not allowed on their property. A lawn that used to expand from one end to the other, and you were able to see the lake, and that's why we were just a neighborhood, and suddenly Mark and Diane have posted signs up, keep off the property. We can't look at them. We would love to see that come to an end and have them, as well as us, be neighbors.
Okay, thank you. No further questions from the board? Okay, so,
I got one question for the applicant.
okay.
So what is the cost impediment to you of moving it back and having it abut to the house?
Well, talking to Larry, I gotta have 3 feet in front of the stairwell going into the house.
No, that's
At
not-
a minimum.
That's not what I'm asking.
What do you mean?
I'm asking, do you have any idea what the cost would be to have it actually abut to the house?
You want an
We got-
attached
we have a
garage, you said.
sunroom.
Yeah, we have a sunroom
So it's
that's
all
unheated,
glass, so
so it's
it's
all, yeah. Roof is glass, the front is all windows, and there's just minor support to it. It's not a structural, part of the house.
And there used to be a big deck there that.
Yeah, I saw it. I went out there this
Yeah.
morning.
There used to be a large deck there that we pulled out.
Okay.
That's actually stuck out further than where the shed is.
So abutting it to the house is not realistic at all, and then there's gotta be at least 3 feet from the front of the stairs.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, so I'll close this public hearing. We will discuss it later on this evening and may or may not come up with a decision. You're more than welcome to stay, and hear our discussion. If not, you can call the office in the morning and find out what we decided. All right, thank you.
Circling back to Wafer and moving on to the next one.
Is Mr. Wafer here now?
Maureen. Wafer.
Maureen. Excuse me. Maureen Wafer here? Yeah. Forward ahead. Actually,
Did Maureen know to come tonight? Okay.
I'm just thinking. 'Cause
But she didn't contact you and said she wasn't gonna make it, she was gonna be late?
Yeah, I mean, when a house, it doesn't look like anybody's living there, because I was gonna say,
No, she lives there.
you wanna, for a while, I guess we just really would if she doesn't live here, because I think we need some discussion. A public hearing before the ZBA of the town of Sullivan will be held Thursday, March 9th. To consider the application of Sharon Mondoni and Daniel Bilby for property located at 5.82-1-14 for property located at 2673 Burlington Road for an area variance seeking 3 feet of relief from a 12-foot setback for requirements on the side yard. The above application is open for inspection at the town of Sullivan office building. Sharon or Daniel, are you here or?
I'm here representing. I'm
Okay.
Dan's sister.
Okay, yeah, come on up here and tell us. Is which side of the house, are you looking for the 3 feet or you're going on the east or west side of the house?
On the east,
Okay, I was gonna say, better not be.
What's your last name for the record?
Black. My name is Debbie Rose.
Debbie Black.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, better not be on the west side.
Correct.
Okay, if you wanna tell us why you're doing this and what you're doing?
Well, they want to expand, they're building a bedroom and a bathroom and expanding on their deck there. And they're doing that just because that's gonna be their primary residence now, and certainly they have children, and now the children are having grandchildren, and we're all gonna be there. One big happy family.
And it's 3 feet, 3 feet is what you're building out of the house, is it? I don't wanna say just 3 feet, but.
It's a 14-foot addition.
Okay, it's a 14-foot addition, and then they 3 feet of relief, okay,
Correct.
yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because of the 9 and
Yeah.
12, the
Right.
12 and 8 rule. How close is that structure on the neighbor's lot?
Oh, the garage there, or the
There's,
shed?
there's a shed to the
It's
east.
between 5 and 6 feet.
And 20 feet's the magic number for emergency vehicles?
That was more than that. Wasn't it 16 or something?
Is it 16?
Uh,
I'm asking because I don't know. My
An
understanding is,
access road is 16, access road is 16.
so 16 is enough to get an emergency vehicle to the back. Okay.
This looks like it gets wider as you go closer to the lake.
correct.
The house is kind of at a funky angle to the,
19 and 827. The
You're
addition
saying-
you're
you're
putting
saying
on,
4
is
or
how
5
wide
feet?
is the addition?
Between 5 and 6 feet.
Do you have something bigger than this?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Or no?
That says 14.
Because if that's 5 feet from the road, that's awful tight for emergency vehicles, and it looks like the other side is even tighter.
well, no, the addition would be 19 feet from the line, plus your 5 or 6 feet to the shed, right?
9 feet plus 5 feet would only be 14 feet.
Well, why would an emergency vehicle be driving down through there?
That's one of the things that we always discuss when we talk about how close one structure is to the neighbor structure.
I mean,
It's just what we talked about before.
As long as, you know, you can get equipment around front.
Yeah, but I also think, you know, any type of vehicle, if they wanna do some lawn work, you know, it's nice to have 12 feet or something, so you get a tractor back there or whatever, you know. But you have 19, right?
No, it's a plus or minus 9 feet. It looks like 19.
That's a 9.
It's plus or minus 9 feet.
Okay.
That's why
I
they're
was just making
asking-
that same
no,
mistake. I was like, it's 19.
That's why they want 9
Oh,
feet
wait
of
a second.
relief. The 9 feet of relief is because that's, or the 3 feet of relief is because that's a 9. Yeah.
And then on the other side of the property, there's a garage that's 2.5 feet out.
It's a lot tighter. Right. With a house that's 8. And that's what I'm saying, if something happens at the lake and you gotta get something to the backyard, is that east side gonna be enough space to get a vehicle
Fire
back there?
department has cows put a hose.
Alright.
And how often does that happen? The neighbor gets stuck doing that.
They pick a right away or something, put on in there.
Does the board have any other questions? Is there anyone here to speak for or against this application? If so, please stand and state your concern.
Joyce Nerbinsky. We live at 2667 Burlingame Road, 4 houses after Sharon and Dan's.
Okay.
And I know you guys are concerned about how much space there is to get a vehicle between Sharon's house and the one next door where they'll be putting in their addition on.
Yep.
They actually have the widest span of anyone on the block,
Yes.
you know, I mean, and I believe the shed is on Patty and Mike's
It's on the other property. Yep.
you know, and it's over and, you know, and I think they're gonna make the place look better than it looks.
Okay. So you have no concerns.
Oh, God,
You
no.
got the green light from them.
Oh, God, yes.
Thank you.
And everybody who's not here also.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak for or against? Okay, we'll discuss this tonight. You'll probably have a decision. You're more than welcome to stay, or you can call Jerry in the morning, okay? Thank you. So, still no Maureen. I close that last public hearing. What now?
That is odd.
That she's not.
Yeah,
Should the doors still open out there? I mean, actually, some of those folks left, so the last group left. They probably would have left then.
Well, yeah.
But what might be worth, we had a problem, was it here we had a problem with the doors accidentally shut?
Board meeting
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah. Might be worth looking
Was
at.
that detention?
Yes. No, that was the town board meeting.
You just said that again.
Yeah, I do.
Because if she's not here, I mean, I think we should definitely take her up.
I'll move it to
But
the table.
we'll get a look.
Call it to.
Although technically,
Well,
I tried to
you can
call, I
call
went to a
Larry, but-
voicemail.
No, they don't.
if you call, it takes them 45
Yeah,
minutes
no,
to
don't
get here.
bother.
That's
I called and went to
not a good
voicemail,
idea.
I called them myself.
Oh, you
so I
did?
never got a
Oh.
number.
Okay, well, then
They went to a full voicemail.
Yeah,
No
no,
need
you
to
won't.
call.
She's checking the other doors.
You know, it's down there on her property, you got an old camp that looks like an abandoned. You know how that is in relation to the property? And I went down there, but,
There's a lot of room between the two.
well, there's a lot of room, but I just wondered where the property line was. That once she puts the addition, how much room there would be between the addition and other property.
Does-
Oh, we can worry about that, we're gonna table
For which
this.
one?
Oh,
Oh, for Wafer?
Yes. So do I have a motion here?
That house next to him, I think, isn't that the one that nobody's in?
Right.
Like totally abandoned.
It's abandoned,
Abandoned structure. It's gonna have to come down to be rebuilt.
it's slated for demo. so.
Yeah.
Is there anybody here for that application?
No.
No public came to,
Is anybody here to speak for?
Yeah.
on the other one?
Anybody here for the waiver application down on Damon Point, Lake Shore?
Right, good, no harm.
Okay. Make sure we did it properly. We started it, we opened the hearing, we're leaving the hearing open, and now do I have a,
I will move to put it on the table.
I'll second that.
all in favor of tabling the waiver application until next month, signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous, okay, so it'll be on the agenda for next month, all right?
Mr. Caprio seconded it, I believe. Nope, it was Cliff.
Thank you.
I was wrong. Through his voice.
Okay, since we're talking about the one on Burlington Road, let's go to that one. I don't know which one of you guys has that.
I've got Brian Gate.
Okay.
There's no lot coverage issues, right?
No.
Whether an undesirable change would be produced in character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. Say no.
Similar to other
Yeah.
parcels in the vicinity.
Saying it's currently the widest space. So I'm saying it is currently the widest space between structures and will still have 9 feet of step back. Whether benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance.
I don't think so. I'm only putting a, I shouldn't say 14-foot addition on. I mean, it's, you're gonna put an addition on, you're gonna,
But they're pulling it back from the front, so it's not going to disturb the view the same, you know, so.
Requested variance is substantial, no. It's only 3 feet of a 12/20 foot requirement. Because they still have the full 8 feet on the other side. No to whether the variance would have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. For the same reasons as question 1. Alleged difficulty is self-created. You said the problem was her family got too big, right? That's the problem.
Yeah.
But even if it's self-created, it's, most of them are, and it's not really, well, depending on your outcome, it might not be the most determinative factor in your analysis, so. This goes into the mix.
I will move that the benefit to the applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood, and therefore the variance requested is approved.
do we have a second? Second. Any further discussion?
One thought I'm having lately with the meetings I'm going to, do we wanna have it staked before construction begins, Larry, so you can confirm the locations and the setbacks to make sure they're exactly what we approve? I'm only saying this, I just had this at Casanova, we approved something and it got built in the wrong spot.
So here's what I'll say, if that's the case, it should be done before it comes in front of the board.
Yeah, I was thinking that out, so you guys can come and look at it in the future, have it staked.
I had a conversation last night with somebody who was, and it was not about this
one.
board or
Yeah.
this codes
Yeah.
officer, it was another municipality.
I wonder if it's the one I'm talking about.
It was not, where they worked with the codes officer to complete the application. The codes officer came out and did his measurements to help them on the front end of it,
Mhm.
and told them what they needed.
Mhm.
It was approved as applied,
Mhm.
and then when they went to start construction,
Mhm.
they were told that their variance wasn't enough.
Mhm.
So they had to go back to the zoning board for a second variance.
That's what happened in my case, but it was not the same place.
In this instance, the codes officer helped them with the initial application.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So I think, it seems like if there's gonna be a staking of things, it would be before the application is drawn up.
I would just caution the applicant, make sure you get it in the right place. You know, because if you build it, you're getting a certain variance, and then when your contractor comes in, make sure they know what the board granted, so that they don't have it 2 feet closer than what the board granted. That happens sometimes, double check it.
What happens if that doesn't?
Do what I had to do with it, the one I did, they made an error then. But they blamed the code officer, he said, I showed this to the code officer, he said, that's exactly where it conveyed, that my code officer's incapacitated, can't speak for himself anymore, he had an accident. But ultimately, the board voted it down. Now, the owner voluntarily, the director would do it and there wasn't a lawsuit, but it's always good to make sure we got it in the right place. And that's not on us, we gotta make sure the applicant and their contractor build what you guys approve. Which is always the case technically, but just bears mentioning, get it right.
You've never seen it happen, right?
I mean, I see it happening in commercial all the time.
Yeah. Okay,
This is it's 14'6", very easy measurement to make, so, you know, it's when you get into the 11/9/16, you know.
So there's a motion and a second.
right, and now,
And we did, and this would include a negative declaration, or that was a type 2, you said, right, Mike? So
Yeah.
that was a type 2, so that all you're looking for is either conditions or a vote, whatever.
correct. I got interrupted.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to avoid what happened to me.
All in favor of the motion on the floor signify by saying aye.
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 Unanimous, okay.
No,
No, it's not her.
I'm sorry, you're not.
Oh, I heard him say it.
Yeah, I'm like the code officer.
Which one of you guys got minor?
I have minor.
Okay. So
So,
now we're doing the one on minor.
Who
road.
seconded mine?
That's not a one.
all right, whether the undesirable change would be produced in character of neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties.
Can we pull this up on, screen or not, Mike? Can you do that or not? Today the 8th or 9th?
Right.
I guess the reason I wanna look at it is Cliff just said whether it's gonna be a negative impact on the neighborhood. And I know when you first go down there, the first shed on the building is basically on the road, but then,
Zoning board,
what now?
I'm talking about.
That's what.
No.
There's other projects that are closed, different closed, or.
Well, that's how I wanna see how this one would be in relation.
Just try password.
Leave out the board on the. Capital Z.
So try to turn.
Password.
If that doesn't work, I've got it here on my iPad, so you can, it's tiny, sorry about that, you guys can share it. The screen's a little goofy, but
Give it to
the,
me.
the parcel's this one right
Is it
there.
ZBA?
Do the best you can.
Is it ZBA?
This one.
Could it be ZBA or you're certain that it's zoning?
Well, I have zoning board, and then I have
I
zoning.
can't get to the street views.
John's saying.
But that gives you, there's your neighbor.
That is why you did something like that.
Luke's got his on. Can you pull it up, Luke, or not?
Yeah.
Cliff, you see that okay?
Yes, I went down there.
Okay, you've been.
Yeah,
you've been
I
down,
went,
you've been-
I went down there
Trying to
too,
get-
but I just trying to relation to the other garages, you know, how much farther this one would be out towards the road.
Quite a bit.
There's some that are, but not everyone.
Well, on this street, the only one that's, if you look, they're all pretty well in line. The only one that's really between the frontage and the road is that long, narrow one, right at the corner.
Did you go down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one right at the corner.
Yeah,
Is the
first
only one.
And then toward the end, there's another one.
All the way down to the very end where the road doesn't go past it.
Right.
The road doesn't go
Right.
past it, it's not an issue.
Yep.
So that one was built in 1944.
Yeah,
The one at the corner.
the 113 Meyer Road,
Other
okay.
ones are-
Okay, so anyways, read your question
Whether
again.
undesirable change would be produced in character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. I want to say no. Do you agree?
I guess I would disagree. I think coming out, I can't tell from this thing whether it's gonna come out 20 feet farther than anything else on the road, so I think it would, you know, change the character of the neighborhood.
Was it, I didn't see stakes when I went out. Was it staked?
No.
No, I didn't stake where the garage is gonna be, but it would be in line with the two other sheds to the right of the.
Sheds or garages?
The little sheds. There's two little
There's
sheds.
Right,
Three
little
sheds.
shed, everybody's got little sheds,
There's,
correct.
You know
there's
me,
three
Mike.
sheds that go that way. They'll be at the same
I
off the
like
road.
that they have a parking area next to it, but I don't like short
It's tight.
driveways, you know.
So can I make a suggestion? And I'm sorry to do this. I know building season's hopefully coming soon. I would move to table this and ask that you guys stake it so that we can come out again and see exactly how far it's gonna be out and how close it is to the road.
Because it's about a foot more maybe, but it could be, you know, I don't know.
Am I wrong that that would help making a decision
That's
on
what
it?
we've always done, so.
Yeah, no, I
A
mean,
lot of
cause
times on roads.
they're asking for quite a bit of relief. And I guess I would like to actually see, you know, I went out there today and, you know, I just trying to guess and, you know, it would be nice to have stakes.
I will move to table this, to put this on the table to next month or to postpone a decision to next month and ask that the applicant stake it a week before next month's meeting so that we can see where the frontage is gonna be in relation to the road.
You understand what we're asking?
Right, you want me to stake the roadside.
Yeah, and actually, it would probably be beneficial if you put in all four corners,
Yeah.
okay? We would appreciate that.
I mean, I had it, but I took it down to just get an idea. of
I saw it in the
where-
picture and I was like, did I miss it? Cause I feel like it wasn't there.
All right.
Well, I was trying to figure out what, you know,
Yeah.
it's snowing and, you know.
No, totally understand.
It would be covered up by now because they did it when there was no snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
If you can put them in a week, so our meeting is gonna be the second Thursday of April. So if you can put them in a week before, give us a week to, so during that week, we would have time.
Okay, so one of the stakes, if you wanted like two stakes, one on each end, the pavers are there. So we wouldn't be able to put a stick, you know what I mean? We could
Or
put
you
a
could
stick-
tear them out
Spray,
anyway.
you use a can of spray paint.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, we can do that. I
Yeah,
mean, we
spray
could put
paint.
something down.
Just something, yeah, even if you just move a bin and put a post in a bin, I don't know.
You're gonna pop that paver out anyway.
And
Yeah, I mean,
You want us
contractor.
to tell us when to come by or?
Just have it done a week beforehand. That gives us the weekend.
Thursday before.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
I won't-
Regarding all support whatever decision.
Yeah,
Okay, so we got
yeah, we'll figure something
He's
out.
got 100 of them.
so we have a motion. Did we get a second?
I'll second it.
Cliff seconds it. All in favor of tabling this application till next month, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, okay. All right, sorry for the delay, but, you know, we wanna get this right. All right, so we got.
Thank you both.
Thanks for coming in.
We done, and
We'll see you next month.
Okay,
The hearing's closed, all they're gonna
so just look at it.
look at the stakes and then we'll go back.
The meeting.
13.
So we table two.
hold it, this is.
We just come to 13, 7 o'clock.
Alrighty.
See you next month.
Berlin game is done. The other two are tabled.
It'll be light on this.
Get more easily out here.
Okay, so this is gotta go in this folder.
I was kind of going there with that too.
Ow, right on the ankle.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, all right, we have the minutes, gentlemen.
I will tell you, when you go down the lake, different roads have different cultures. And there are some roads, where everything is right up. Everything's built right up to the road, and every house is right on top of each other. And that one, their sidewalks are very tight, but nothing has encroached to that road yet. And the one thing that has was done in the 1940s. And if,
Comes in, but it only handicaps some anyways. There was one.
This is one.
Approved on Court Road, I didn't vote for it, but you should see that, it's,
She's gonna have 8 feet here, right?
is that the one that's right on the corner?
it's no one's halfway down, it's right there, and there's two cars, no place to park on the
You got
side,
any new
I don't
applications
know.
around the month yet?
Where they are.
Actually,
What is it?
And that truck is slab is perfect.
One story.
actually, yes, I was gonna say, before we get to the minutes, I don't know if these people do have a question. If they get- Well, we'll go to the minutes.
No.
Well, she could get a car in there, but I don't think she's gonna park over here.
It's going all the way back to January.
Well, she only needs 8 or 10 feet for that. She's probably gonna put one car there, and that's it.
And then this is Dana's property here.
They just-
Oh, here, nice.
This is us.
And what's this?
That's her.
So I've got a question.
Oh, I see, I got
Go
you.
ahead.
I'm looking at the wrong way. I got you. Yep, I got you.
Having recently
I got you.
attended a seminar on Robert's Rules,
Oh, yeah.
where minutes was discussed, it was pointed out to me, not to me, but to the whole class, how simple minutes are allowed to be.
Oh, yeah, all you need is a decision.
So, with that in mind,
You know, she just wants.
So much detail in there for you.
well, we've got a lot in here from Mr. Green.
I actually,
And my question is, do we wanna have that kind of detail from Mr.
that's up
Green?
to you guys.
Or
to
would
do.
we rather have the record simply state that Mr. Green
When you're on the road here, you look.
discussed
place,
some
read that
questions regarding
So,
interpretation
she's
of the
only
code
not
with the
gonna
board,
park further on this
but
side.
because
She's
no
gonna go
application
further on this
had
side.
been submitted
Payments, and therefore
it
she
didn't
always
move
parking here, so the
to
parking
any
in the-
action by the board.
seems like less is more.
Leave it at that,
I've been trying to.
so that he doesn't pull this into court and make all kinds of.
So you'll see in here, Mike,
There you
that
go.
when I took a look at these, it was just slightly different. Jerry did a nice job, but every time Mr. Green
Say yes.
said something, I said, I didn't know how much detail you wanted, because you probably.
Jerry, I don't think you should
You'll
be a
see.
part of this discussion we're having here.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I'll go down and look at it again.
I'm supposed to remind you that you're still alive.
I'll measure
Yep.
issue.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, you're still alive.
But
So that's our major.
your point is fine, and I've told boards the same thing, which is
So,
you don't
hold on,
have to have any
hold on.
of this discussion.
Major.
This is what I'll let them
This is all
finish talking for a minute, I think we
swamp
should go into
land.
executive
So
session.
our concern
To
is
discuss
here,
this
that
goofy
there's all
as that is.
parking here, and then of course we can't get to our property and then
And
Brad's
that's
property.
okay, what you can
too.
say instead is table these minutes, table the minutes, there's no pending, there's no pending.
That's a big variance.
Threatened
I'm
litigation.
just saying on the minutes,
Yeah, that was probably
less
about
might be
7 or 2
better.
years.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so, the
That
point
wouldn't bother
is,
me.
there's a
Well,
lot of
that's to
stuff
show
that
them
made
that
us
they
up
might
for
come
fact,
back and
and
bite
I
us, you
changed
know.
it to an opinion, or he stated his feeling, et cetera. However,
Selfie debt
you are
should
correct,
still be
the only thing that
insured.
needs to happen in here could have been added 2 sentences of, he said, he came in as a
That's why I gotta
position,
get.
and the board moved the table, whatever.
That's
But
not mediation.
we've always used fairly restrictive minutes in the past, and I didn't want to change it that way. State, these are your minutes, you can change them any way you like.
And then not have to pay.
And you might wanna think about it for the next meeting too.
Well, there's a
Nobody
lot
should
to read.
pressure you. Nobody
I don't wanna
should, if you
rush
guys haven't a
them,
chance to go through his minutes, you really ought to. And take your time with it.
It was, it's impressive.
I will move to table the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a Luke seconds, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, so we'll vote on the minutes next month, and we got the 2 hearings. Got anything else before us for next month?
How do you guys feel about that? About how copious the notes are in the future? Because it's something that we as a board, if we want to direct Jerry one way or another on this, we can suggest that it's not as,
These are your minutes, I mean,
Involved.
and I mean,
Yeah.
these are your minutes, you do what you want. The only thing you're required to do is record the votes. That's the requirement. Whether you wanna get into this
what's the
lengthy
what's the
description,
benefit of having more description of the content of the discussion?
personal preference by the board.
The way that we're doing our resolutions, passing, or the way that we're doing our approving and disapproving, we've got all the rationale in it,
Covered,
correct?
everything covered.
So the discussion.
Yeah, those minutes, yeah, when
So
you
the
guys fill out
discussion
your
doesn't need to.
resolutions, that's why I do them that way. It forces you to have that
So
discussion.
that discussion is then
Yeah,
captured there,
yeah.
or the
Now,
conclusion of the
My boards
discussion.
do, we represent over 30 municipalities. You'll see it all over the board.
Does how robust the minutes are
Well, why don't I
affect
give you some
anything?
legal advice on this, and that way you can close the meeting and we can have that discussion. Okay. On what the legal advice is and how minutes can be.
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Or one question.
Let's do that. Why don't you close it up and we'll have that discussion.
Okay,
Yes, there's one application next month,
what road?
Palmer Circle.
Where's Palmer Circle?
And what this is they have an existing garage.
Hold it, where's Palmer Circle?
On the lake,
Near Tyler, down that area.
Okay, yeah.
The existing garage is 5 feet off the property line. What he wants to do is he wants to add an addition on the back, but he wants to keep it the
continue
same.
5 feet, yeah.
So I told him he had to get a variance
Yeah.
for the,
You do, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
we do
maintaining
that.
it, but you need the variance.
Okay, thank you.
all right?
All right.
And he's got plenty of land.
that's the only one?
Well,
Plus,
and
plus
carry
everything.
over from
Oh,
last.
and-
for
And
the-
we might get the solar people back.
Oh, they might.
No, yeah, so, I don't know how long that's gonna take. I called the guy and he said they don't have an answer yet, so it could take more time. I don't know.
All right, do I have a motion to close the meeting if we have no further new business?
I'll move that.
We have a motion, a second.
I'll second.
All in favor of closing the meeting, signify by saying aye.